Well, that's today's episode. Thanks for listening, and join me tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet. No, I'm just kidding. That was just the beginning. I was gonna do this whole episode backwards, like the movie. Oh, I don't want to give away what movie it is because that's a spoiler. But there's a movie that's completely backwards. It's made a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I'm I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say what it is. What's your favorite unexpected twist in a movie or unexpected movie ending? I'd be curious to know. And so please feel free to share in the comments. I've been looking at lists of unexpected film endings, and some of them I haven't seen, so I can't help that. But the ones that I have seen, there are lists where the top few ones are ones that I have seen, and I pretty much agree with it. You know what a really good list would be? A list of movies that don't actually have unexpected endings, but are listed as movies with the most unexpected endings. Now that would be a great surreal. That would be a surreal list of the top 10 unexpected endings in films. I mean, come to think of it, I mean, the whole genre of film and literature and everything really is built on the idea of unexpected. It's not like you're gonna know what happens because you haven't read it yet, you haven't seen it yet. So the more I think about it, the more unexpected everything is. And well, that's why film and novels and all works of art and everything else reflects life as it is, because every day we live is a series of really unexpected things that happen. And if you look at life that way, then that kind of changes your perspective. Okay, let's see what the cards today have to say about the unexpected. I don't know how to recalibrate the deck. I really feel like it needs to be recalibrated because yesterday we drew two cards. You remember I was talking about the Magicicada, Magicicadas, and the periodical cicadas that show up in the eastern part of what is now the United States around May and June, every 13 and 17 years, respectively, depending on the brood. And there are 12 broods of 17-year and 3 year of 13, and 3 broods of 13-year cicadas. And this year, 2 of them are going to show up at the same time. So listen to yesterday's episode if you want to find out more about that. So I challenged the cards which is always a mistake, but I did it anyway because we all, the cards enjoy it. They told me. I challenged the cards to have me draw card 13 and card 19 for the 2 broods of cicadas that were due this year at the same time. Brood 19 is a 13-year type periodical cicada. Brood 13 is actually, unexpectedly, a 17-year brood of periodical cicadas. And I drew cards 14 and 18. So I was one off each time. So that suggests to me that the cards are a little bit off. They're a little bit in need of calibration. And so I think I need to recalibrate the deck. So what I'm going to need to do is to shuffle the deck upside down. And I'm going to have to start by doing everything in reverse, just like the beginning of this episode. That was actually, spoiler alert, the end of this episode. No, it's not a spoiler because you already know that. Okay, here we go. So the deck is upside down. The top card is, that means that the actual cards are facing out instead of the back of the card. And the top card is card 18, Note You Do Unconsciously, which, was those last 2 cards that we drew were 18 and 14, 14 and 18. All right, so now I'm going to shuffle them. I'm going to do the big shuffle first. Usually I do that last, so I'm going to start with that. Okay. All right. Here we go. And then I'm going to have the cards face the opposite direction I usually do. I'm going to give them the 3 casual shuffles, carefully rearranging and putting them from the top and bottom onto the now top of the deck, which is backwards or upside down. Yeah, I guess wrong side up. That's a good way. All right. One more go. All right, so that's 3 shuffles, and then I want to I guess I just take the card off the top of the deck because that wow, amazingly that's weird. The card on the bottom of the deck, which is now the top, is card 18. Know what you do that was the card that was just on the top. How did it stay there? Okay, I don't know how that happened, but it happened. Okay. All right, cards. It sounds to me like this deck is now recalibrated. So I guess I should pick the... Oh, wait, no, I shouldn't pick the card off the top. What I should do is I should now do a regular... Because now they're regular... Oh, that's what the cards are telling me. Because the last card is on the bottom still, even after I reshuffled backwards. And so now what I need to do is actually do a regular shuffle. And... Then I'll draw a card. Okay. So here we go. 3 shuffles. Okay. And let me do the grand final shuffle here. Okay. Let's see how we do. I'm going to press the cards in, but I'm also going to be aware of the fact that they are... Okay, here we go. So I'm looking, as always, I look for a card that sticks out from the top, from the deck, or there are a bunch of, it's not perfectly even, so of course there are a bunch of cards sticking out, but I usually choose the one that is highest, or if a gap appears that my eye is drawn to, then I pick it from there. But this is the highest card. It's slightly higher than the second highest card. And here we go. It's card number 3. That's rule number 3 of Life's Potluck Buffet. That story you just told about someone else was about you. Let me read you this card. When we speak ill or well of others, we ought to consider in what way we were talking to ourselves about ourselves. Pay close attention to the stories you tell about others, both when you complain about them and when you praise their actions. By understanding what others do that either annoys you or pleases you, you can learn what you do that is annoying or what you want to be praised for. What story did you just tell about someone else? How was it really about you? So think of the last story that you told and talk about how that story was really about you. Today's episode is all about expecting the unexpected, or rather, about unexpecting the expected. So stick around for Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me.